Hi, good evening once again. I am here. I am here to give another. Good evening once again. I am here on the Leadership Academy lectures. You will recall that I started by giving you a brief rundown of why I am doing this, why I am giving a virtual lecture on the key values of leadership. But again, as I want to introduce this lecture again as a preamble, um, uh, let me just tell you that for those who are connecting for the first time, that I was inspired by the number of responses I got when I had an interview with Woody Meyer sometime about I think 3 years ago, and he asked me about what is one thing that I would change if I had the power to do so in Africa. And my response was leadership. That we need to improve on the leadership in Africa today in all spheres of life. So, in order to walk the talk, I thought that look, let me start by having these lectures um, uh, mostly to the young ones, young Africans, or wherever you are in the world, just to talk to them about values of leadership as they assume roles in leadership. So we started with physical lectures in the Gambia, and I invited very prominent Gambians, and I did it for about 4 years. I mean, having different cohorts up to about the fourth cohort, and the last one was about 500 in number. So now I don't have time to be stationed in one country like in the Gambia. I mean, as I'm moving around with my businesses in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia, and I do travel a lot. So I thought, because of technology, why can't I just go ahead and start um, these lectures, doing virtual lectures actually, so people can benefit wherever they are in the world. So that's really why I am doing this. So I started first by listing out the core values that I want to address. And if you're joining for the first time, it's codenamed ICE Fade Chip, ICEFADE CCHIP. Um, I for integrity, C for commitment, E for empowerment, F for futuristic vision, A for accountability, D for decision making, E for empathy, C for good communication, another C for confidence, H for honesty, I for innovation, and then P for passion. These, for me, are very important key values in leadership. So, if you want to be a good leader, you must address these issues. So, so being the case, I started with first and really went into integrity as the first one. So with integrity, I mean, I did give a lecture on it, and I responded to quite a number of questions that came up. Then last week, I dwelled into commitment, and there were also quite a number of people who connected, and I really gave my own view on why a leader should be committed on a cause. And today I am here to speak about empowerment as a leader. That if you are a leader, empowerment is one of the key values that you should adopt. Because in empowering the folks or the fellows that follow you, those who are leading, be it in the political sphere, or in the business world, or in the social setup, you need first, for me, to provide opportunities. And that is important. You need to empower your followers, people who are leading you. So empowerment in leadership, involves creating and facilitating opportunities for personal and professional growth for individuals within any organization that you are leading. So you need, as a leader, to create opportunities for people. So you empower them. So remember, a good leader doesn't focus on himself only. So you are to empower those that you lead. So you need to create opportunities. And that's number one for me for empowerment. The other is on delegating authority. You need to delegate. I mean, you cannot do it all. So if you are a very good leader, you need to, I mean, most of the time, delegate responsibility and delegate authority. I remember you are at the very top, and at times you deal with policies, you deal with strategies, and then you delegate for people to lead, to implement. So most of the time, the leader at the top doesn't do the implementation because you are at the top, you are at the executive level. So you need to delegate authority. So leaders should delegate authority and decision-making power to team members, allowing them to take ownership and responsibility for their work. So if you delegate responsibility, then your followers that you are leading will definitely take responsibility, and that's key. Once they take responsibility, then the job is done. It is delivered. I will give a shout out to those who are connected. I can see Priscilla Dado says, I really get inspired anytime I listen to you, Taf. Thank you so much. And then Nene Bangura also says, hello, Uncle Taf. Thanks so much. That's on Facebook. I will come into the others. So I was on delegating authority. So authority needs to be delegated. And the third one is encouraging autonomy. You need to encourage autonomy all the time. That empowerment fosters a culture that encourages individuals to make independent decisions and take ownership of their responsibilities. So again, I will repeat that it's not all about you, but it's about a team that you are leading. And your role as a leader, you are at the top. You have a responsibility. But then you delegate. And now when you delegate, and encourage autonomy, therefore people will take responsibility for their decisions. That's very important for a leader. The fourth is providing resources. You need to provide resources to the team that you are leading. Empowering leaders ensure that team members have access to the resources and support they need to succeed, giving them the tools to excel in their roles. So that's so important. I mean, you need to give them all the resources that is necessary for them to deliver their responsibilities. So you don't just put somebody in a position of responsibility without giving the necessary tools. And the tools can vary. I mean, it can vary from financial, from material resources, human resources. You name them. So many resources that will deliver the job. So a good leader, that's what you do. You need to provide the resources. So the fifth, it's empowering, fostering and empowering collaboration. You need to collaborate as a team. So empowerment in leadership involves creating an environment that encourages teamwork and collaboration, enabling team members to contribute their unique skills and expertise. So you need to foster a lot of collaboration. The people it's a teamwork. I mean, my good example is always in a football team, soccer, as you know, it's a member. The number of the team members, actually, the team members are 11 in number. But it doesn't only stop there. Those who are on the field are 11 in number, and then you have the reserves who are sitting on the bench. You have a manager, and then you have the medical team. You have even the spectators are members of the team. So everybody has a role to play, and you need to empower each and every one of them. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's only one person who scores the goal, I mean, there can be so many strategies, and then so many tactics can be utilized to score the goal. That's the ultimate aim, is to put the ball into the net. Now, when that happens, it's the team that wins. That's why medals are provided for a team. A cup is given to a team. You can have the leading goal scorer for what he has done, but most of the time it is the team that wins. Individuals don't win. So if you are a leader, you need to foster collaboration. The other thing also in empowerment is also to encouraging innovation. I mean, innovation is key. I mean, you shouldn't be stagnant. I said this, I mean, because innovation itself actually is part of the key values of leadership. But within empowerment, you need to encourage innovation. So empowered leaders foster a culture of innovation and creativity, encouraging team members to think outside the box and share their ideas fearlessly. Some leaders cannot. Some leaders are more or less like dictators. I mean, they are at the top, and whatever they say, you must do it. That's not a good leader. I mean, you are not empowering your team members. I mean, if you need to really, allow them to act, to deliver fearlessly. So they're not looking at the eyes and say, oh, if I do this, then my boss or the man at the top will not be happy with me. So they will drag their feet. So you need to really encourage innovation as a leader, within empowerment. You also need to be providing mentorship, because remember, to empower people, you need to inspire them. So when you inspire them, they take responsibility, they look up to you, and then leaders empower team members by providing mentorship, coaching, and guidance to support their professional development and growth. That's your responsibility. You need to mentor your team. I mean, I tell my team most of the time that I clone them. And I want to give you an example. Once I was supposed to do a presentation in Lagos. I think it was with the American Nigerian Association. That I was invited to a breakfast talk. So somehow I missed my flight. I was flying from Istanbul into Lagos to give a lecture, or give a talk to them. So my flight got cancelled technically, but my personal assistant, who was supposed to join me, then flew from Port Harcourt to Lagos and delivered the lecture. And the response, the compliments I got from the guys that invited me was that, look, you were there because this guy did, an excellent job of it. And for what it simply means that my staff, my team are trained. So where I am absent, I'm just a human being. They will deliver the same thing. So jokingly, I told them that, look, what I do, I clone my staff. So some of them, they think like me, they talk like me, and that's what makes up a good leader. So you provide mentorship. They have been mentored enough to just behave more or less like me. So you also need to be acknowledging contributions. Simple things. And when you empower people, you need to acknowledge them. When somebody's done something good, say, well, thank you. That's a great job. You've done well. Oh, I would not have even done it better. So these things, it helps the team members, to feel empowered. So empowerment involves recognizing and appreciating the contributions of team members, creating a sense of value and worth within the organization. So somebody is there, you need to show him or her that whatever he is doing, it's done right. So he feels good about it. He feels that, look, oh, I am acknowledged. Whatever I am doing, it's good. And then he will put in more. So a good leader, in empowerment, acknowledges the contribution of others. Also, you need to be supporting risk-taking, especially in entrepreneurship. I've spoken about this a lot of times about risk-taking. That a good entrepreneur, the first thing you do, you must take risk. If you don't take risk, my friend, forget it. So in empowering people, you need to be supporting risk-taking. So empowered leaders support calculated risk-taking and encourage team members to step outside their control zones and embrace new challenges. As you know, again, as a good example, I am a big risk taker. I've had quite a number of times where people will tell me, oh, but how? I mean, how can you go into Nigeria and do this work? And not only in Nigeria, but those who know Nigeria very well will be surprised that I went into the Niger Delta, into Port Harcourt, and we've succeeded in delivering, a very impressive job, which is called the Riftaf Golf Estate in 2012. And today we're there trying to deliver 20,000 houses. I mean, that's a huge risk. A Gambian coming from, a population of 2.3 million these days and going into a market that is 200 million people. You have to take the risk. You never know until you get there. So you need to encourage your team also to take calculated risk. Then the next one is communication. Although good communication is part of the good values of leadership, but within empowerment, you need to clearly communicate. And so effective communication is vital for empowerment, ensuring that team members are well informed and understand their roles and responsibility. At times, people act because you haven't communicated very well to them. That's the point. I give people a very good example. You will laugh about it. I mean, once I traveled, I came from Malaysia, and I had a fountain pen that I inherited from my dad, my late dad. I treasured this very well. So the fountain pen, I saw Quink ink. The old school will know Quink ink. So I bought the Quink ink, and then brought it home. Then my cleaner at the office, then I was in Banjul in Cemetery Road, my head office, some ink had spilled on the cover, so I just gave it to the guy and asked him that, please, can you clean this? Guess what? The guy was not that educated. He poured the whole ink and just cleaned the whole bottle. The bottle came clear. It was a clear bottle. But when I looked at it, I mean, I shouted, oh my God. I said, oh, what? I didn't want to scare him, but I thought that I didn't communicate very well. Because for me, all I asked him was to clean it. Please clean this. And he didn't really understand that I meant the ink that spilled out of the bottle. He thought it was a dark color liquid. So all he did was to pour the ink. Can you imagine? I bought the ink in Malaysia to Gambia and just cleaned it. So please, when you have subordinates, I will encourage that you need to communicate very well. If you're empowering people, it is very important there is clear communication. So the next is building trust. You need to trust your team. Some leaders are not good in trusting their team members. So you need to be building trust. So empowerment is rooted in mutual trust and respect between leaders and team members, fostering an environment of openness and honesty. A leader should say, yes, I am wrong when you are wrong. Admit your mistakes. Everybody makes a mistake. Nobody is infallible. So as a good leader, you always need to do this. Make sure when you make an error, go back to your team members. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, I said this the last time, but I think I am wrong. You were right. So then they will trust you. They will trust you as well. The man at the top, as we say in Nigeria, the ogre at the top, admit his mistakes. So you need to do this to develop trust within the team members that you lead. Again, creating a safe environment. I mean, the environment that you work, if you want to empower people, you need to make sure that it is safe. So you have to have a very, you create a safe environment. So leaders empower by creating a safe and inclusive environment where team members feel free to express their ideas and concerns without fear of judgment or reprisals. So that is always important. So you need to create that safe environment between you and your team members. Now, you also need to be recognizing potentials. You need to look at who do you think that it's good, and when they're good, I mean, you recognize them. I mean, again, when you recognize them, you are empowering them. So empowered leaders recognize the potential in each team member and provide opportunities for them to grow and expand their capabilities. I mean, at times somebody can be in a specific role, and then you discover that over time, I mean, he's more effective in some other areas. So you need to recognize this, and in recognizing it, their potentials, you can even develop them. You can develop them, you can coach them, as I said earlier, you can mentor them, so they will do better. I mean, we have seen in some institutions where, some people rose from being a messenger in an organization to somewhere to an executive position. But this is all created by leaders. It is the leaders who create these people. So within empowerment also is promoting accountability. I remember I said that accountability is part of the core values of leadership. But if you want to empower people, you also need to promote accountability. That empowerment involves holding team members accountable for their actions and decisions, fostering a culture of personal responsibility and reliability. This is important. So everybody must be accountable for their own deeds. It should be cultured within the organization, within the team. But you cannot have something good for the goose and not for the gander. That is wrong. If it's in the Gambian way, the issue of kumamu amdei, akumamu amundei, a bit of Wolof in it, meaning a Kumba that has the mom and the other Kumba that doesn't have a mom. So you judge them differently. So this is one of the issues that this is very important. You need to promote accountability, in empowerment. Now, lastly, before not the least, because I want to open it up to take your questions, is you need to be celebrating success. Again, when somebody does something right, you celebrate him. You celebrate him, so he will even do better. He will do his best. So empowered leaders celebrate the successes and accomplishment of their team members, fostering a positive and supportive work culture that inspires continued growth and achievement. So celebrate your team all the time. Say, "Wow, you have done so well." So well done. I mean, I wouldn't have even done it better. So that is very important. I would encourage leaders to celebrate success. When somebody is successful, you celebrate them. When somebody fails, also you console them. I mean, look, everybody can make an error, but admit that yes, it's an error. But please, next time, don't do it like this. And that's what a good leader does when you empower your team. So those are the issues I wanted to pick up on empowerment. And what I will just very quickly go into the comments that I have here and read them out. And also to acknowledge those of you who weekly, have been coming onto my my different social media handles, not only on this lecture, but I do recognize, some of you who are always positively commenting to my posts. And I've got Priscilla Dadu, who I mentioned on Facebook, who said that I really get inspired anytime I listen to you, TAF. And then Nene Bangura also is there. Says, "Hello, Uncle TAF." And then Egatin T. Kamara, salute straight from Sierra Leone. I mean, Sierra Leone, as you know, it's one of my countries now. I'm more or less a citizen in Sierra Leone now. So then Suleiman Balde also on Facebook says, "Good evening. Good evening to you too." Haja Male Benjamin Lamba says, "Good evening, Mr. Njai. Thanks for inspiring us across Africa." Thank you to you too. Thank you to you too. Yande Job on Facebook says, "Greetings, Mr. Njai. I may have bumped into something that I am not invited, or perhaps you are doing as a VOD. I seem to be the only votes for this awesome deliberation. Please post to other platforms if possible, because it is wonderful resources that many can learn from, sir. Thank you." No, Yanda, it's open. You're connecting from LinkedIn. It's a live broadcast and it's for everybody wherever you are in the world. So you can share with your contacts. You can download them. So there's no invitation. It's an open invitation. But thank you very much, Yande, for your compliments. Your only thing is your surname, your Njob surname. Huh? And then Luciana Philip says, I am happy I caught the live, watching from St. Lucia. Another great motivation. Thank you. Thank you to you too, Luciana, on Facebook. And then I've got Rutlin Akampam says, great work. Thank you, Rutlin. Then Usman Jase, I'm a bit late today, Uncle. Thank you for this gem once again. You're welcome, Usman. Demba Dabo, man of vision, he says, thank you. And then my very dear sister, Honorable Dr. Fatimata Jahumpa Sise, proud of you, Suma Chairman Binjai. Thank you so much. Chairman meaning my brother. Yeah, we come a very long way. We have family ties. We were in the same class at primary school, and we have a very deep-rooted connection. Thank you very much, and mutual respect too to Honorable Dr. Fatoumata Jahumpa Sise. I'm sure she's in South Africa. And then Haja Male Benjamin Lamba, she says, when people work together, sorry, let me just see. Let me just start the show. When people work together as part of team, they are more productive than working in silos. We need to implement the agile ways of working across Africa. Agile, I hope I'm pronouncing right, encourages shadowing, teaching, coaching, and mentoring across teams and or organizations. Agile is mindset and encourages psychological safety across teams. Thank you very much. Thanks for your contribution, Haja Male. Now, Ayo Rinde Emma Olalekan says, my mentor. Thank you very much for being your mentor. Abdullah Njai, thanks, Mr. Njai. Leadership of our people appreciate you giving the message. Team wins always. That's on LinkedIn. Now, Ayo Rinde Emma Olalekan again says, God bless you. Yes, God bless you too. And then Benjamin Sarkapio says, you are indeed a legend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So somebody, Benjamin, is trying to get some work all the time about being a gypsum fixer. Wato Sita. Somebody says Wato Sita. I hope it's not by man. It says TAF can do estate in Sanyang, Kaira, Kunda, not far from the beach. That's for business. This is a leadership lecture. So from Liberia, thanks so much. This is so inspiring. I look forward to seeing you in my country. Mahmoud A. Dakule. Thanks. And then Tanu Jalla says, hey, Dad, I am Tanu Jalla from Liberia. A leader, I have a great interest in the TAF Leadership Academy. Thank you. Just connected, and yes, you will benefit. And then Sheku Lee Kalon says, good evening, Miss Uncle TAF. Thanks for giving us another great leadership principles today. You're welcome. Higgy Rose, my friend, says, greetings, Mustafa. Hope all is well. Yes, all is well. Thanks for connecting, Higgy. And then Seku Kalon says, last week I asked a question regarding doing joint venture in Gambia as a new investment. What is your thoughts on this, and how will you advise one to go about it? I mean, if you want to do business in the Gambia, really, your best bet is to go through GAIPA, which is the Gambia Investment and Promotion Agency. They will lead you on the benefits that you will get in doing business. They will help you. Eric, thank you so much. He says, I thank you so much for this great inspiration. Sir Eric is our head of surveys. Alujiba says, we want you to come with a good spirit on the side of farming in order to motivate young ones to grow what they eat and eat what we grow. I'm happy for you, Uncle Taf. Thank you very much. I cannot do everything. I mean, my main line is construction. I'm sure there are others who are going into farming. But the principles of leadership will help also in farming. Esa Sidibe on Facebook says, hi, my mentor. Keep on educating us. We appreciate you. Lamin Jai says, taking all samples from you and investing in my country, the Gambia. I hope to invite you to see my investment in the future. Inshallah, as we say. Then Keba Bujang said, great session. If you were to go back in your 30s, what will you do differently? If I were to go back to my 30s, honestly, I will explore the world, much more than I'm doing now. Somebody says Alaji is watching from Luxembourg on Facebook. Thank you so much, guys. Our time is up. It's 9 o'clock. I cannot read those on TikTok. I promise to do so next time because I from another handle, another phone. But let me take this opportunity again to thank all of you and my team, led by Alpha Sumare, who's the man who's always making sure that technology serves us well to deliver this lecture. So next week, inshallah, I will be talking about futuristic vision. So stay tuned. It's always every Sunday at 8:30 GMT to 9 GMT. So 30 minutes of lecture on the core values of leadership. I am Mr. Mustafa Njai, the president of the TAF Africa Foundation, or the CEO and MD of TAF Africa Global. So have a good night wherever you are. God bless you all. Thank you.